Okay, so then God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea. Okay, and here we're going to see 4 characteristics that not only belong to the first man, but every man afterwards. And this is very important for those who say, some of our people who try to, and some of the students who try to combine evolution and creation and say, well, maybe God made both. Maybe he made, maybe he did evolve us out of apes. God could have done that. Of course, he could have done everything. God can do everything. But that's not what we see here. It's very crystal clear here that there was no such kind of evolution, because the characteristics of the first men are going to be the inheritance. The same characteristics are going to be inherited by every man afterwards until today, until the end of times. And the first characteristics that's given to every human being is, every human being is made in the image of God. Whether male or female, every human being is made in the image of God. Whether an embryo, whether 1 second old, okay, at the very conception. That's why the morning after pill is murderous. Okay, it kills a person. At the very conception, at that very moment of conception, we have a human being. We have a soul and we have a body, whether it might be just a couple cells or 1 cell. It has the potential to become a human being. So every human being is made in the image of God. The second characteristic, everyone created by God will be given the potential to become like God. Will have that inheritance necessary to become like God. A lot of people confuse these two things, and we're going to devote an entire class on these two concepts, the image and the likeness. What is the difference? Because later on, the scripture is not always very clear. It'll say God made them in his image and his likeness. But here, the two are differentiated. Let us make man in our image after our likeness. Okay. The image is given to everyone. Whether we like it or not, we are made in God's image. And we are given the potential and the tools if we want to, and we must choose our free will to reach the likeness. The third characteristic, which is connected to the image. Now, God said, let us make men single, okay, men, and let them, see how specific the scripture is. When he told, let us make men, one person, okay, we're going to make men, one. And then he says, but let them have dominion over the rest of the creation. So the same dominion that Adam and Eve had in a garden, the same dominion is given to all humankind over animals, over birds, over the fish. Okay, that is because God is our sovereign God and He is the ruler of the whole universe, God also makes us the ruler of this creation. Okay. A little bit lower than the angels. Okay. Okay. And that's one of the things that it means to be in God's image. We are given authority and dominion over the animals. Not to kill them and destroy them, not to destroy nature, but to love and restore and use nature for our well-being. Okay. Not destructively, like science does, most of the time. So this dominion is something that will continue for the rest of the time. And again, it's connected to that image. It's part of being made in the image of God. And the fourth characteristic, as already mentioned, that is let them. In other words, God is saying here that not only Adam and Eve, but all the descendants of Adam and Eve will have all these four characteristics. So, the first human being could have not been an ape, because all these things do not belong to an ape. An ape has no dominion over the other animals. Yes, Yanni?
My mom said in high school textbooks they're going to make you learn that humans came from apes.
They're not going to make you, Yanni. They can't make us do anything. They can tell us about that, but we don't have to believe it, right?
Yeah.
Right, Yanni? They're going to tell us that according to a scientific study. First of all, this is the theory, okay, and it's not, it's simply a theory that will never be proven. It has never been proven. Okay, it's not a scientific fact, and that's why they call it a theory. And, they will teach you a lot of good things in school, but your mom is also going to teach you what not to accept and what not to believe, okay? Because it's not that the teachers are bad, it's just that they have not been taught Orthodox theology. Some may not believe, some do, and some agree with creation, but a lot of the teachers will disagree and try to teach, and especially when you go to college, that's when I think the professors, they just try their best to destroy any kind of Christian foundation at that point. I think they make it a point there, and that's what we really need to have a very solid foundation. So, and in the last 5,000-6,000 years, as long as apes have been around, I have not seen any of them pick up a pencil or write you a letter, or they do pick up a pencil, but they cannot write words down. They can't write their name, you see. But Adam, will find out that Adam was given by God, okay, he was asked by God to name all the animals. Okay. So Adam named all the animals, which means that Adam te dije otra cosa. He was not of a lower intellect. Just the fact that Adam is naming all the animals with different names, okay, that shows that he possessed the same intellect that we have today.